Hi and welcome to Polymer Clay TV. Today we have something special, not one but two different ways that you can decorate our Halloween kit. And if you stick around after the short descriptions of how we did it, there's a longer tutorial at the end. Have fun! So here we're going to unbox and show you what's in the kit. We've got a sugar skull mold that's got a crown of roses. We've got a set of 4 impress and punch, they're plunger cutters, a ghost, a house, a witch hat, and a jack-o'-lantern. You can cut or impress or both. And then we have a dual silk screen. One side has a spooky tree with bats and a spider web, and the other side has a cat with a couple of jack-o'-lanterns. So those are made smaller to fit smaller projects like this. This is actually sized for an ATC. It's a shrine kit that comes flat and you just pull it all apart and then you'll glue it together after decorating and attaching your clay parts and painting, of course, all the pieces. And you just want to watch out for the tabs so that you don't put any clay in the way of where those tabs have to be glued together later. So if you're going to attach clay on the inside back piece, I would do that first before doing anything else. And then just make sure that you're leaving room there so that you don't get in the way of your tabs in the end when you go to put it together.
Share with you today how I put this together, and it's kind of hard to see on camera right now the whole piece, but I have still photos that we're going to pop in there so you can see the whole thing. But I'm going to move it around a little so you can see what I did. These are glass pieces that I got at TJ Maxx literally for $1.50 at the end of the season. But you can find these at different craft stores, and they're just little glass pieces that you could use in mosaics or anything you want. And I had these trays, you could call them trays, but what they actually are covers for stovetop burners. And I thought, well, what a great way to make like a little Halloween decoration where I could use those glass pieces, and they actually came with these adorable glass bats, and I'm like, that's perfect to go with my awesome shrine. So this is my shrine, and I didn't glue anything together because I want to take it and show it to you, but basically I had found this cheesecloth that's been dyed black at the dollar store. And so you can drape that on your piece any way you want. This is just draped over it. And this is just the box that came inside of this plastic container that I said, oh, that'll be really cute to raise it up. And then I had these little pumpkins. Gosh, I have no idea where I got them. Probably at the dollar store or something over the years. But here's my shrine. And you can probably see it a little bit better. And they come in plain brown masonite. That's the type of substrate that we're using here. And it comes in pieces. And it is the easiest thing to put together. Let me tell you, I cannot put together little shelves and things like that. I have tried and nothing goes together. I always have extra pieces. But with this, it was so easy to put together, it's not even funny. And all you need is a tiny bit of glue, and I used Sobo glue. And when I mean tiny, I mean really very little. I just put it in where the joints match up, and I just put it a little on the back of these. And I glued it about an hour ago, and it's really held together nicely. And once it's completely dry, I don't think it's going anywhere. It's really, you know, it put together nicely because there's little slots that you can put it together with. You know, you just slip this one in this slot. You know, this piece goes into this. It's really, really easy, and it comes with instructions. So I use Croco, which is a crackle medium, and started off by painting that all over my piece, except on this piece here and around the edges. That's Pebeo, and when you put this Pebeo paint on, it's the Prisme, it creates little things that look like cells, and I thought that would be so cute on there. So I painted these with the Pebeo. You have to let those dry for several days. That's the one thing about the Pebeo. It doesn't dry instantly, and it will be a little tacky unless you let it dry for a few days. So think about that when you're doing your project. That should be the first thing that you paint. Whatever you want to use the Pebeo, paint it, let it dry a couple days, and then you can assemble everything. So that's how I handled it. But I did put the Croco paint all over, and you can use whatever you want. You don't have to use Croco. I just found Croco's by Viva Decor. Viva, V-I-V-A, Decor, D-E-C-O-R. And so you can use that. You can use any kind of crackle that you want, but I found that that actually worked a little bit better than the Tim Holtz crackle medium on the Masonite. So I did like the Croco for that. So that's pretty much how I put together the shrine. I've got my glued-in glass bats, which were really cute. And, you know, really it's all about just using your imagination and having fun with it.
I've got a stamped image in the background here over the opal clay. And I painted one of the bats and glittered it and glued it in there. I've got my Happy Halloween across the front with the lightning black ink on the opal clay, and I just cut that out and glued it on after it was baked. And my little sugar skull came out so cute. That's molded. And then my bat wings are Pebeo Fantasy Prism paint. And these spines of it are clay, and I've got some glitter on there. I also painted this area of the spider web on the shrine with the same Pebeo paint. So basically you just glue this all together. You put the tabs in and you glue it together. So this piece was baked directly on the Masonite, as was the back, which features the cat silkscreen with the jack-o'-lantern. So that was the very last thing I did, is apply this to the back and bake it face down so that it would be nice and flat and attached to the back. And I used liquid clay, Kato liquid clay, as a binder to get it to stick really well to the Masonite. So then, as a finishing touch, I took out some thin washi tape, and it's not only decorative, I did wrap it all the way around, but it also has the dual purpose of hiding some of those tab areas where this little box fits together. So I used some Martha Stewart glass glitter paint on the front here, which is one of my favorite glitter paints because it's subtle. It's not like in-your-face puffy glitter, but it is a little bit sparkly, so I like it. And then here's my little pumpkin ghost dude who can just sit right inside of there. And now I can set this somewhere and it'll be really cute and pretty. So aside from the contents of the kit, which this is part of the kit, I used Primo accents in Graphite Pearl, Twinkle Twinkle, and Opal. I used a Brilliance ink pad in Lightning Black, Weld Bond glue, some pearl white paint, and some black paint and black glitter paint, my tonic shears, a paintbrush, and a sculpting tool. This is a Christy Friesen sculpting tool. And finally, something that's not in the kit but that you probably have lying around is a stamp set. I used the spider web and the Happy Halloween, but there are so many stamp sets available online and at the store, especially at this time of year, that we know that you can find something if you want to use a stamp. And oh yeah, last but not least, my look is going to be completed with some Prism paint, Fantasy Prism from Pebeo, and that's going to be going on the wings and this part of the shrine, the top part. And it has a really cool paint effect So that goes on last because it can't be baked, and you'll see that at the end of the video.
Now we're going to put some Kato sauce, or Kato liquid polymer clear medium, on some of the parts where I want to attach clay. This helps the clay adhere to the masonite board, which it wouldn't otherwise really want to stick to. So just anywhere I know I'm putting clay, I am putting this Kato sauce, and then I'm going to bake the piece so that I can attach clay to it like I'm doing here. To detail the wings, I just used a tool and just poked some lines and little dots on it. Bake that, and press and cut your ghost. I grunged them up a little with the ink to make them look old and dirty. This is the Brilliance Lightning Black ink. And for the background, I used a stamp, some Distress ink, and I cut it to the size of the background, and the clay was Primo Accents Opal. Of course, you'll want to paint your shrine, so I used some shiny black paint and some glitter paint over the top of that. I made pumpkins by just putting together some elongated balls and using my rubber tool to poke in the tops and bottoms. Clean up my molds always with my tonic shears, and color your baked clay with alcohol markers. And here we're going to glue it all together. Everything is baked at this point. The paint is dry, the clay is baked, the ink is heat set and dry. And my pieces that I was going to use Pebeo on are also dry. So you don't want to put Pebeo in the oven. Remember to paint your pieces at the end. This is Weld Bond glue. It's a really great glue for putting things like this together. You can only get it online. I haven't seen it ever in person, so you'll have to find that online. And these are my little pieces and parts all going together at the end. At this point, my shrine is glued together, and I'm going to put a little more liquid clay on the back so that my silkscreen will really stick to it. So just smear that on there, smooth it out, and then lay your silkscreen on and smooth the edges down so that they really look like they are melded up to the back edges of the box. And then I just made a little sort of prop for my baked ghost with the pumpkins in the front and a little piece of white clay in the back so that he won't fall over backwards. And I'm just going to bake these two things one more time for 30 minutes.